Welcome back to the show. We've been talking about the Thanksgiving membership special that's going on for just a couple of more days. It's a one-year membership. David Pakman Show zip-up hoodie made from 100% recycled materials, as well as your choice of a David Pakman Show bumper sticker, not available for purchase anywhere, or having Lewis or me record your voicemail greeting, your outgoing voicemail greeting. Very, very popular. People have been loving this, Lewis. And it's at davidpakman.com/Thanksgiving13. And as we are about to approach the Thanksgiving buying season, Thanksgiving into end of the year, basically, the big buying season, I just wanted to remind you that if you're thinking of spending, who knows, $100 on some toy from China for someone, or wasting a lot of money on things you really don't need and probably will regret buying, just remember that you could set aside just a small portion of your holiday gift budget or your end of year budget or your I've got some money left over and I'm going to do something with a little bit of it and save the rest budget, whatever budget it is. Think about putting it into the show, which really is an investment in the future of progressive ideas, in the future of alternatives to corporate media. And I thought about telling you guys about what goes on behind the scenes with every single show that we do. People ask me a lot, how much time does it take to prepare your show? What goes on? What exactly does Lewis do? What's going on? We don't understand what is going on. What are we funding with our membership dollars? Well, we have a very long production day. First of all, there are really no days off. Over the weekend, preparing stories. If I hear about a story, I'm constantly writing and taking ideas down because you can't let those things escape you, Lewis, once you think of them. Lewis booking guests over the weekend, emergencies and changes come up all the time. So it really is a constant workflow that we're involved in. In the morning, it's time to prep the actual stories for the day. So usually 7:30, 7:45, 8 at the latest, I'll start going through the stories. If it's a Monday, the stories from over the weekend. If it's a Tuesday or Wednesday, the stories from the day before, and just gathering data. Is this a story we want to cover? What are the basic facts of the story? Once we have a list of 15 or maybe 20 stories, we cut that down typically to 9 stories per show if we have an interview. And at that point, great, we've got the research, we've got the background, but what do we want to say about this story, Lewis? So at that point, once all the research has been done, once the stories have been picked and all the data is there, we need to figure out, what's our position? What do we want to say about this? What's important about this? What other stories have we done and how do they fit into this? So that is the pre-production process. Once that's done, it's time to prepare for the interview. And for the interview, there is typically much more research than for any one story. As you know, Lewis, we start researching guests how far ahead of time? I mean, if we book someone 2 weeks in advance, we start the research basically right away.
Oh yeah, you have to. You have to collect the data, learn about them, learn about the topic, so we can ask the best possible questions.
Hopefully that's done around 10:30, 10:45, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And at that point, we go into the technical pre-production. We've got to get all of our pictures that show up on the screen ready. We've got to get our video clips ready. Do we have voicemails? Do they need to be edited? Let's listen to all the voicemails that come in, which is 30 to 40 a day. All of that. Once all of that is done, hopefully we have like an hour to handle some administrative stuff, activate people's memberships, send out emails to some TV and radio stations, etc. After all that is done, that's like a full day. We have to start and produce this show, Lewis, and that typically starts around 12:15, 12:30. We start with the interviews, we start getting all of our graphics together, recording the segments, and then once all of that is done, typically around 2:30, the post-production process starts, editing, exporting files, delivering the shows to our affiliates, all of that stuff. And I think, Lewis, by the time it's all said and done, the deadline for the program is 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is, of course, many hours after the process starts. Hopefully we're done at 7:15 is usually when we have the last kind of T's crossed and I's dotted. And at that point, we've got to start casually kind of thinking about the next day's show. So the story is, your membership dollars directly support the work we're doing. The membership program, hopefully in 2014, will lead to a further expansion of programming as well as a further expansion of staff so we can bring you even more and even better quality programming. So please check out davidpakman.com/Thanksgiving13. We are going into the year-end membership drive. Help us close the books with one extra member. You can do that this year. DavidPakman.com/Thanksgiving13.